Wednesday. Lovely to see you guys here. Thanks so much for coming out. As you probably know, it's Reconciliation Week this week, so we're smack bang in the middle of that. We've got Gumaroy Newman here today. He's a storyteller, he's a poet, he's a performer, he's worked with the Dalai Lama, Gungakiri, some amazing performers who are Arrested Development and done lots of really interesting things.
Goanna.
Who? Goanna. Goanna the fave. So let's, I'm just going to hand it straight over to Gumaroy and he can start educating us all around Reconciliation Week, what it means to him and what it means to us as a community. Really good opportunity to explore some of the important issues of today. So,
We'll have a chat first and go out for the smoking.
We are at the end of this session going to do a smoking ceremony. So we're all going to walk downstairs and out, just out to the right, or sorry, to the left of the front door. So anybody that wants to follow us down and be part of that, Gumaroy is going to lead that. So that'll be the end of the session, and we'll get to that eventually. Do you want this microphone? Okay. Let's give him a round of applause.
Well, y'all will Galiana. Yang mana nyaman berbeza warna wajah, naya ni kemarin, waktu buka jauh, naya ni kamar kali orang, kamar. Ini ada mali, bo mali kita mali katanya baju macam mana kan? Naya ni kuali, yeraki. Did you do? Gammon gali, kuali. Did you do? Yo, yeraki, magu kan dia, bil mata kindak kibabu. Dia ramado guru baragambat naya gani kuwali bodin niye bere wana gale yenda tabia bra yenda naya gainga yena Lisa yayani yeda geology borayao minigaro. Any questions?
So, first of all, I want to acknowledge that, actually I'm just going to sit down. I want to acknowledge that this is not my country. So when I say this is not my country, I'm talking about this is not my language group. The language that I was just speaking is a language called Gumaroy. You heard of Gumaroy, the Gumaroy people? Yeah. So our language is Gamal Arai. So Gamal means no, and Arai means having. So we are the no having people. We're very simplistic. And so believe it or not, this is my little cousin, Lisa. She's from Cape York. And so I'm from the community up there through the matriarchal side of my family called Lockhart River. And they have the Bula Yawa people. So that's another language group that I sing in their songs. And then come down northwest of Brisbane, I'm also coming from a community called Sherburne, and we are the Waka Waka people, which means no, no. The symbology behind that there, it's all about saying no to the bad things, okay? So I want to acknowledge that this is the land of the Gadigal people, of a bigger nation called Eora. That's what they call themselves. Some people also call them Garo. But Eora just means I am. When the first explorers came here, and they asked Benelong and all his friends, hey, brother, Mr. Kuriman, where are you from? What's your language group? And he just said, Eora, that just means I am. Same as the word Murray or Murray in my grandma's language, okay? Through dad's side. It just means I am me. We always identify ourselves with our language groups, not as Aboriginal people or Indigenous people or First Nations people per se. That's okay to do that. But what it is, we always say a language group. And we're matriarchal societies. I'll ask you guys a question. Does anyone know how many different Indigenous languages there are in Australia? Just at the top of your head.
Over 200.
Yep, good guess. Yep, very good, that'll do. There's more like 400 plus, but that's good enough. And so inside you've got all these different dialects, and a lot of it is based on the rhythms of the land. So this is how simple my language is on dad's side of the family. A kangaroo is banga, and the crow is a wah wah. Well, the kookaburra is booger gaga. They are our teachers. Our number one teacher is the woman, because we're matriarchal. Now, let's talk about, women are the boss. They will kick your butt. If we don't listen to the women, man, we're getting beat up, seriously. Mentally as well, because they are the boss. When it comes to the really important stuff, where do you run to? Not your dad. You always go to your mum. So just to give you an idea about how a typical family structure is. Okay. How many sisters has your mother got? 0. So you only got one mother. How many brothers has she got? Huh?
3.
So you got 3 uncles. Now your dad, how many brothers has your dad got? So your dad is your dad, and her brothers are your dad. So you got 4 fathers. How many sisters? None. So you got no auntie. See how it works? And it's their traditional obligation to look after you. Okay, and they can dish out the same rewards as your biological father or mother. They can dish out the same punishment. Now, let's talk about reconciliation. Well, first of all, the reason why I've travelled to over 40 countries is because it's not just about me, and it's not just about my indigenous side. I'm also Italian, I'm proud of that. I'm also English, I'm proud of that. I'm also Chinese, and I'm proud of that. And I love their food too, by the way. So, this is what happened. I think it all starts, the reason why I travel so much was I'm interested in your culture. I'm interested in your religious beliefs, your dietary habits. I'm interested in your spiritual beliefs and your cultural practices. Because without me trying to walk into your shoes for a little bit of time, whilst I'm still on this earth, I can't learn and I can't understand. And that breaks down the barrier of fear. I'm fascinated in everyone else's culture. Okay? Like we always say, we are the world's oldest living continuous culture, but you know what that means? That's what it is, we're not the best. So hands up and be honest about it. Who thinks there's still a lot of racism in this country? Now let me clarify this. As an Indigenous man, it's not just people against Indigenous people. It's people against the general wider Australian community as well. It's Aboriginal people against Aboriginal people, am I right? It's Aboriginal people against white Aussies against Aboriginal people. If a lot of people are against Muslims, so it even transcends across into religious beliefs. And then a lot of people against Arabic people, whether they be Muslim or Christian. A lot of people against Asians. And then Asians, again, it crosses not just biological backgrounds or wherever you come from, but even crosses religious sectors and socio-economic groups. Okay? So I think what we need to do, keep in mind during Reconciliation Week is that go and meet a new friend from a different culture, a different background, and ask them, what's this about? Why do they do this? Why do they do that? And so then you go, oh, okay, I can relate to this. What's that ceremony about? Okay? Kind of like, you know, the Baha'i temples, that's why I love them. It's like come one, come all. And that's what I think, not just go out and befriend an Aboriginal person, go out and befriend somebody else of another culture as well. And become aware of why they do these things, okay? Botanical gardens, just then. I'm walking through the botanical gardens and this guy comes up and he had his little followers. And he goes, excuse me, sir, did you give permission to pick those leaves? And I'm like, yeah, from the Aboriginal Lands Council. And he goes, are you sure? Like if he would have had the cultural awareness, he would have known what a smoking ceremony is about. And a lovely lady came down when we got there. She goes, wow, a smoking ceremony, this is so beautiful. And without me saying, do you know what a smoking ceremony is about? She started telling me. Because obviously she's taken the time out of her day to go up to an Indigenous elder or participate or practice or partake in a smoking ceremony. Just something as little as that. That could have been, if I wasn't such an awakened person, and I I wasn't so like experienced in dealing with other people's culture. I'm very, very tolerant and patient because you live and learn. I've been in situations like that. I said, yeah, no worries, and we just kept going. Eh? Imagine like if you had like a wild black fella from out the desert, like how dare you challenge me? So it's just about, okay, I've been there, I've done that, I know why he challenged because he didn't know. And it's not because he dislikes us as Indigenous people, it's because he just doesn't know. So if you don't know, just ask. So I'm going to start off with a poem. And I used to sit down here when I was 19, or 17. And then when I was 19, I wrote this poem. It's called Positive Progression. And you might recall this one because I've been sharing blessings with Eloise when she used to have this magnificent event called Soul Sessions back about, 6 years ago? 7, yeah. So I wrote this when I was 19. So all I'm saying is that I go out and meet you guys from a different culture because I want to relate to you. I want to be your friend and I want to learn from you and learn why you think this way, why you act such way, why you react in such a way. Does that make sense? So if you can just digress and pretend or just imagine being one of the first people of the Eora Nation, or in particular the Gadigal around Circular Quay, or the Bidjigal even, who were the point of first contact down around La Perouse. And you saw these strange looking contraptions that sailed across the waters, and then these strange looking brothers. Okay, they look different with their skin, their hair and their eyes, and their bad hygiene from spending months and months out at sea. Let me ask you guys, what do you think they would have been, or what do you think that the local people here would have thought the first English explorers were? Anybody just goes, that's exactly. And we have prophecies about that there will come a day when these white ghost-like figures will come and they will try to take over the land. But you know what? Like I said, and I always say this, I am a custodian of the land. I am not a traditional land owner. And that goes against the grain of a lot of my own people too. But then I say, my brother, my sister, how could I possibly own the Mother Earth when the Mother Earth owns me? I don't recall the Earth coming from me. But I know I'm definitely physically, biologically made of earthly elements. Therefore, I need to consume it to keep my physical body going. Okay? And then most of all, I don't recall men having babies. That's why I always say, wow, imagine like women having babies, that'd be just totally phenomenal. Wow, that'd be something new, but I'm just being cheeky. And that's why we're matriarchal as well. I don't recall, and in no way is that having a shot at anyone else's spiritual beliefs or religions. But you find most Indigenous nations, we have either spiritual being that created us, that is of no gender, or we have a woman creator, even the rainbow serpent, Gaia. Okay? And she came down, she gave birth to everything. When her waters broke, fills up all the lakes, rivers, seas, and streams and waterways. And then out comes all creation. And guess who came last after all the animals? Man. Man and his massive ego. It's ruining the planet. It's trying to control the way we live our life. Okay? So, you want to sing, I'll do this poem and we'll sing a welcome song. You're not falling asleep, are you? No. She's my cousin and she knows I like to talk. So the poem goes like this. Long before the days of the high-rise, harbour bridge, opera house and investor roamed across the expanse of our beautiful Mother Earth, my self-sufficient nomadic ancestor. They enjoyed a life of tranquility each day passed at a leisurely pace, although total oblivion would catch them unprepared for what they were about to face. First encounters with their adversary instilled in their hearts was great fear. Where did they come from? What did they want? And why did they look so queer? Did they come from the sky, the water? Did they come from the granites? Or could this be the inconceivable? Were they even from another planet? Because ours was the only country, so we thought, virgin coastlines fortified by trees. Such a journey could only be made by great spirits across such treacherous seas. Petrified eyes watched so anxiously. As the aliens, they gradually drew near. And what could we do? We felt so defenceless. Wouldn't you, young against scare? Great battles are fought over this land. Ferocious, bloody wars of attrition. Sacrifice for countless young victims. Main incentive, preservation of tradition. In emulation of their proud forefathers, the invaders, the damage they would deliver, as they callously cull down our innocence. The result, a perennial Red River. Discontented with dwelling on these outskirts would later see them infiltrate the interior. And this was to be their downfall, as old Mother Earth proved to be their superior. But look, 200 plus years have passed already since the time of that initial invasion of my beautiful, refined people. Almost complete, though, was our eradication. Look, my poor old mother, she's in agony. Her flesh and veins are so polluted. But the foe's influence doesn't stop there, because even my blood is diluted. But I consider it to be a great privilege to live now. Back then was a mess. If it's a crime to be proud of your heritage, hey, I'm guilty as charged. I confess. See what's happened in the past. Too much damage has already been done. So it's up to every Australian to unify and to positively progress as one. So I better do part two, and it's only half that long. And so the part two of it's called Let's Be Brave. Now, put your hand up if you believe that this country was settled peacefully or there were massacres. Who believes there were massacres? Well, you know what I always say? It's not okay as long as you acknowledge it. You weren't there. Unless you practice meditation, you ate totally organic vegan, and you used oil of Olay. None of you guys here look over 200 years old. So please don't take on that guilt. That was your forefathers and that was your foremothers. That's one important step in recognising that this country was invaded and the Indigenous people, sovereignty was never ceded. It was taken against our will, the custodianship of this wonderful country. But I even go deeper. Eloise is a very dear friend of mine. I even take it, as you know, to the next level. What happened if there wasn't an invasion? I wouldn't be here because I'm not biologically 100% Indigenous. And so that's how I found it a little bit easier to get over the atrocities. Like imagine the poor stolen generations, okay? They were taken away from such a rich, deeply entrenched culture. The oldest living, surviving culture on the face of this planet. But guess what? Like my Uncle Greg Sim says, it's now a part of your culture. You're living here. You can't go back to where you're from because you are Australian citizens, just like us. Okay? So don't feel any guilt that there must be an acknowledgement. And ask questions. Put your hands up if you've got more than 5 Indigenous friends. That's why I'm always good for alone. Yeah. That's okay. Put your hands up if you've got 1 Indigenous friend. Well, you got 1 or more? Well, now you got 2 more. I'll be your brother, she'll be your sister. Yeah. And so, well, you got heaps. You got some really cool ones, yeah. And so, you got 5 minutes to go. Oh, let's do some dancing then. Let's sing a song, Jalama. That went too quick. So Jalama just simply means welcome. We don't have a word for see you later as well. We don't have a word for the best. We're just all about equality.